Hey guys, what'd you do? Belkit hiccuped as she approached the two brothers under the tree. Belkit, are you okay? Finkit sat up. Yeah, I just came by to see what you do, ing. Belkit hiccuped again. Wow, that's a bad case of the hiccups you got there, Finkit remarked. I know, they're driving me crazy, Belkit sighed. Not to fear, Belkit. Fern and I will help you cure your hiccups, Finkit proclaimed. Belkit gasped. Hey, where's Perry? Finkit looked around, but he didn't spot his uncle. Meanwhile, Perry was sneaking off to the two-leg place to get his next mission. He ran up to a trash can and leapt in. A moment later, he leapt out of it again, covered in trash. Wrong can. He leapt into a different trash can and plummeted down to his lair, where Major was waiting on the screen for him. Ah, Agent P, we've tracked Hines down in the abandoned Auka tunnels. Yes, we know they're no longer ours, and so technically those evil ex-agents can use them as they like. But we're sure Hines is up to something again, and this something very well may be evil enough to warrant our involvement. Honestly, I'm not sure why I'm trying to justify this. Just do what you always do and stop him. Perry saluted. He ran over to another tunnel and disappeared. Perry! He's a semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal of action. He's a furry little flatfoot who'll never flinch from a fray. He's got more than just mad skill. He's got a beaver tail and a bill, and the women swoon whenever they hear him say, he's Perry! Perry the platypus, but you can call him Agent P. Perry said you can call him Agent P. Agent P. Okay, Belkit, the best way to cure the hiccups is to scare them away. So what scares you? Finkit asked. I don't know. Two-leg dens are pretty scary sometimes, Belkit explained. That's it. Fern, I know what we're going to do today. Finkit turned back to Belkit. Fern and I are going to make you the most scary haunted house you've ever seen, with zombies and werewolves and vampires and witches. Ahem, Flamepaw interrupted. Oh, hi, Flamepaw. Finkit, the only way you're building a haunted house in camp is over my dead body. That's the idea, Finkit cackled. That's it, you little creep, Flamepaw snapped. I'm telling Mom. Flamepaw ran over to her mother, who was just about to leave camp. Oh, hi, Flamepaw, Flameclaw greeted. I'm headed to the sunflower field, and you've got to see what Finkit and Fern are doing, Flamepaw burst out. Why don't you go on patrol with Lemonpaw, Flameclaw suggested. With Lemonpaw? Flamepaw froze, glancing around wildly. Sure enough, Lemonpaw was approaching from behind her. That sounds fun, Lemonpaw cheered. Do you mind if I take Curlkit with us? She wants to shadow some apprentices today, and I can't say no to my little cousin. Curlkit stepped out from behind Lemonpaw, her eyes wide and innocent. Oh, sure, Flamepaw agreed. Perry slipped over to the abandoned Auka tunnels. He popped out of an entrance to one of the lairs and looked around. It was dark, and he could see figures moving in the shadows. He hurried forwards, looking around for Hines. He slid next to a box, when suddenly, metal cuffs shot out and pinned him to the box. Perry the platypus? Hines's voice came from behind him. Perry swiveled around, straining against the restraints. What are you doing here? You don't own these tunnels anymore. Well, not that you ever did. Hines moved around to Perry's front, sitting down comfortably. It was Major and Kelpstar, our founders, that built and owned these tunnels. But why am I telling you this? You already know the story after all, but you don't know my side of it. Perry stared blankly at the cat in front of him. He knew enough. Well, Kelpstar, our lovely leader, was actually my mentor. Not like my Dunkleberry clan mentor or anything, no, we're like the same age. But my evil mentor, yes. Of course, he would say that he's not evil, just misunderstood, but I prefer to reclaim the idea of evil. What was I saying? Perry chattered, and Hines brightened, nodding. Of course, yes, these tunnels. So why am I back here again? I have my own building, after all. Well, you probably know this already, but Kelpstar was recently captured by Auka. He's sitting in your jail, all sad and lonely, and I figured that if I can't honor him by completing his mission, I can at least honor him by doing something evil. His mission was the usual, take over Tigrio town from the Two Legs, instill animal dominance over all else, rule the clans as their supreme leader, the usual. But I can't do all that. I've tried, and I'll keep trying, mind you, but to honor Kelpstar, I want to do something more certainly obtainable. This is the Descent Evaporator! Heinz gestured to a large machine. With this, I can destroy these tunnels, not just the abandoned ones, but the ones you use as well. And if the town collapses after that, well, that's just a bonus. It probably won't, but oh well. Flamepaw sat with Curl Kit while Lemonpaw stalked a squirrel up a tree. Flamepaw turned to the younger kid and smiled reassuringly at her. "Watch how he crouches," Flamepaw said lowly. I know what you're doing," Curl Kit replied just as quietly. "What?" "You're trying to get close to Lemonpaw. Well, you just remember, I'm the most important cat in his life. I'm his favorite cat." Curl Kit tilted her head happily. "Okay," Flamepaw nodded. "That's fine. I'm not trying to take your place or anything." "Or are you?" Curl Kit stared intently at her. "Think about this carefully, Flamepaw. What do you want from him?" Flamepaw stared back at her, frozen. What did she want? To be his friend, right? She didn't want to be his sister. That was gross. Wait. Why would that be gross? Surely she didn't think of him in that way. Now, I'll just load a few things onto my escape jet. If there's one thing Kelpstar knew, it was how to maximize closet space. Heinz pushed a few boxes into the jet. He looked around. Now, where are my keys? Perry noticed a set of keys lying on the ground next to him. He cautiously stepped on them, hiding them from view. "Hey, Perry, this is awkward, but have you seen my escape jet keys?" Perry nodded. "What, you have? Where are they?" Perry turned his head away. "You won't tell me? Is this because you don't speak, or are you just being a jerk?" "Troops, thanks for coming." Finkit looked out over the group of kits and apprentices he'd gathered. "This better be good, Pointy," Biffkit grunted. "Oh, it is. Bellkit has been cursed!" Everyone gasped. "With hiccups!" Everyone sighed in disappointment. "Worst case I've ever seen. We're building this haunted house to scare the hiccups out of her. To do so, we must dig deep into those places any sane cat shoves into the darkest, most twisted places of his mind. You must find out what scares you most. Okay, troops, let's get our scare on." "Am I getting warmer?" Heinz approached a worn-out couch and checked between the cushions. "No, not here. Oh, come on, Perry the Platypus. Why can't you accept your death with dignity and maturity and play you're getting hot or cold with me?" "Fine. I'll teach you the meaning of grace under fire." Mere moments later, Heinz was begging on the floor. "Please, I'll do anything." "Anything?" Perry thought. "Oh, for the love of StarClan's great ghost, what would you have me do?" Perry smirked. Heinz balanced on top of a ball, juggling plates and singing, "La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Who's that Molly going down the path? It's Flamepaw. Flamepaw. She's the Molly next door apprentice-age StarClan blessed cat that I'd like to meet. It's Flamepaw. Flamepaw. La da 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 da. Flamepaw was having a great time. Ever since she realized how she felt about Lemonpaw, she couldn't help but bask in his presence. Still, though, something was off. Maybe it was the way Curl Kit's eyes burned into her back. Lemonpaw was struggling to reach down a hole for some prey when Curl Kit subtly snagged a vine, which lifted up, causing Flamepaw to trip into some mud. Ugh. Flamepaw lifted her head, irritated. She glanced at the vine, noticing Curl Kit dropping it, a blank expression on her face. "What are you doing?" Flamekit asked. Lemonpaw returned with a rabbit in his mouth proudly. He noticed the mud on Flamepaw's face. "What happened?" he asked. "Curl Kit tripped me," Flamepaw grumbled. Curl Kit's eyes went wide. "I would never!" she squeaked. "Yeah, Curl Kit wouldn't hurt a fly. What are you talking about?" Lemonpaw went to stand by Curl Kit, who shot Flamepaw a smug look. Flamepaw glared at the younger cat, then sighed. "Whatever. Look, I'm going back to camp. You two can keep hunting if you want." "Oh, okay." Lemonpaw watched her go sadly. Hey, Finkit, what you do? Finkit? Belkit left the nursery, finally approaching the large haunted house for the first time. A huge figure approached from behind. Ah! She screamed. Aw, it didn't work. The figure unzipped itself. It was Finkit in a monster costume. That's okay, though. We've got plenty more to try. Come, let's tiptoe into the dark. One good scare oughta do ya. You'll find our bite much worse than our bark. One good scare oughta do ya some good. If you should find the daily grind a tad bit taxing on the mind to help unwind, if so inclined, I have a small suggestion that if you dare into my lair, you should prepare for quite a scare. Well, will you share in this nightmare with me? My only question. Boo! Boo, I say. Applecate? No, I'm not Applecate. I'm the scariest thing known to cat. A disappointed mentor. Yeah, well, we're just gonna move on now. If your fur lies lifeless and limp, one good scare oughta do ya. Come with me now, don't be a wimp. One good scare oughta do ya some good. Hello, Buffe? Behold, the face of evil. Buffe, are you supposed to be Curlkit? You said you were going to be something scary. She is scary, man. She gives me the willies. Little Sparky Curlkit gives you the willies. You don't know. Oh, you don't know. We'll catch up with you later, okay? Wash away the horror. Wash away the horror. This is quite right. I would delight in taking flight into the night. If I may give you such a fright, you know I surely would. But if I seem a bit extreme in my attempts to make you scream, remember that the spooky scheme will cure your hiccups for good. One little, one little, one little, one little, one good scare oughta do you some good. Mwahahahahahahaha! Fern cackled. So, Belkit, did it work? Finkit asked. I was afraid she would say that. Well, there's one more thing we could try, Finkit mused. Flamepaw trudged into camp, dropping her prey off on the fresh kill pile dejectedly. Then she noticed the giant haunted house. What the? I don't believe this. Let me get this straight. If I set you free, you'll give me the keys? Hines asked. Perry nodded. It had been a while, and all of the other cats in the tunnels had evacuated already. Oh, why didn't you say that like an hour ago? Hines unlocked Perry's restraint, and he lifted his foot, revealing the keys. Oh, look, they were under your cute little platypus foot the whole time. Okay, unlocked now. Grab my stuff. Hurry, hurry. Seatbelts and ignition. Hines flew the jet out of the tunnels, shooting out of an exit that opened up for him. Hoo 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 hoo. Now, let's make sure I didn't forget anything in my haste. Got my old basketball, the lamp, Christmas lights, the umbrella, Perry the platypus, the disintevaporator, my golf club. Wait. Perry the platypus? The disintevaporator? My golf clubs? I don't even play golf. Perry leapt at Hines, and they grappled on the floor of the jet. Hines threw the Christmas lights at Perry, tangling him up in them. Perry jolted backwards, hitting the switch to open the hatch on the back of the jet. Well, since you so kindly opened the hatch, let me show you out! Hines grabbed the wheel and tugged on it, turning the jet and causing a lot of stuff to fall out. Perry held onto the Christmas lights like a rope. Flamepaw approached the haunted house. Those two are in such big trouble. Inside the house, Finkit was talking. Okay, Fern, raise the antenna. Let's see if we can get up the scariness factor. Finkit turned to Belkit. You see, our haunted house is powered by static electricity. Maybe we can get a lightning strike to fire things up. Flamepaw entered the house, looking around the dark anxiously. Hello? Finkit, Fern, you two are in such big trouble? Okay, stop fooling around. You two better come out right now. I'm getting really mad. Flamepaw's voice shook, and something ran behind her. She spun around. What was that? She turned back around and screamed. A huge monster loomed over her, and she turned and ran. The monster took off its face, and a group of Fireheart apprentices laughed from inside it. Flamepaw ran around and around the house, running into all kinds of traps and frights. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Too much, Fern! Finkit called out. The energy of the haunted house was overloading. Ah! Flamepaw kept running around. She ran right into Biffkit, then screamed at his disguise. She turned and ran, falling into a cart that carried her up to where the others were waiting. Flamepaw? Finkit! Flamepaw stomped over to him. When Mom sees that you built a giant haunted house in camp with werewolves and vampires and a giant floating kid head, what's all that about? When I tell Mom what you're doing, you are going down. Down, down, down. Flamepaw turned and stomped off. Any chance that cured your hiccups? Flamekit asked Bellkit. She hiccuped in response. The jet flew over the camp, and the Christmas lights wrapped around the antenna of the haunted house, pulling on it. Flamepaw noticed her mother's scent approaching the camp. Mom's home! Perfect! The haunted house began to lift up off the ground, and everyone jumped out of it. Everyone except for Finkit, who was lifted up far into the air. He then tumbled out of the house, falling towards the ground. Help! He yelled. Quick, everyone! Bellkit yelled. Vines! Moss! Bracken! All the Fireheart kits and apprentices ran to grab what she asked for and returned with it. Bellkit quickly formed a bouncy nest under Finkit. He landed on it, bouncing up and then back down again, settling in the nest comfortably. Now that was scary, Bellkit said. Hey, my hiccups are gone. See? Flamepaw was saying to her mother, Flameclaw. These little creeps have destroyed the camp, leaving this ugly mess in its place. She gestured towards where the haunted house was. Instead, Applecit was standing there. That's not very nice, Flamepaw, Flameclaw said. She turned and walked back out of camp to fetch a mouse she dropped when Flamepaw ran to get her. Hines threw the distant evaporator down onto the haunted house, causing the antenna to snap. Perry let go of the Christmas lights, carefully landing in a tree. Flamepaw was staring at Applecit when suddenly the haunted house fell back down onto the ground in front of him. She gasped and ran to get her mother again. It's back! Mom, I told you, it's returned! Flamepaw called out, dragging Flameclaw back into camp again. Flameclaw looked over at Applecit. The haunted house was gone, having been disintevaporated. Goodbye, Flamepaw, Flameclaw said, turning and walking back over to her dropped mouse. Flamepaw just stared in shock. What's the matter? Bellkit asked her. Finkit and Fern are the matter. This evening was ruined, and I didn't even get to hang out with Lemonpaw that much, Flamepaw sulked. Aw, well, my evening was amazing. I got to hang out with Finkit the whole time, and all it took was a case of the hiccups. Hey, Flamepaw! Lemonpaw hurried into camp, Curlkit behind him. You ran away so fast that I... Flamepaw hiccuped. Oh no, looks like you have a bad case of the hiccups. Let's see what we can do about that, Lemonpaw said, leading her away. Stacy was pacing around the streets of Tigrio Town when she came across something odd. A hole in the side of a building. Stacy squeezed her way inside, and she found herself inside of a tight tunnel leading downwards. Stacy wiggled a bit farther when something grabbed her tail, pulling her back out of the hole. What are you doing? Vanessa asked as soon as she had gotten Stacy out of the hole. What are you doing? Stacy retorted. I'm just exploring. You shouldn't be exploring on this side of town, Vanessa muttered. Why not? You just shouldn't. Okay, Stacy huffed. One of these days you need to explain why to me, though. Yeah, Vanessa smiled weakly. One of these days.